So it is going to be march it off a 10-yard, no yards penalty, and at the 53-yard line, West Shore will take over and try and get going on offense. They have a touchdown on offense. They also were stopped on a third down gamble from goal. Here's Zion Brown in open field. Makes one miss. He can really dance, trying to stiff arm. He will get near the 45-yard line. Near first down yardage, they'll give it to him. But you're seeing Zion Brown, some of the things he can do in open space.
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but a great job by the second Broncos defender to get in there and just hold him. Like, help's coming. That's the thing on defense. All you have to do is get your hands and hold and hope for the best. All 12 guys on defense are always taught, go straight for the ball, straight for the ball. As soon as it's gone, you're running to go make a play. So if you can just get a hand and hold on for dear life, help's coming.
So the Brown catch, good for about 12, and first down. Lots of early movement here, big time, and you can see taking off a little bit early was Rylan Brown, and they'll march it back 5 yards in the procedure.
And that's just infuriating as a coach. You've just picked up a first down. You do not want to see these unnecessary penalties that are setting your offense back.
Take us inside like a snap count here. A quarterback's going to say on one, on two here. What basically, as an O-lineman here, what are you listening for?
You get used to the timing. You've had all these reps, and what happens is a lot of the time offensive linemen start thinking about their assignment, and just you get so used to the same snap count over and over again.
So back to pass, flags again, and it's Zion Brown open. 35 is going to be forced out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Good tackle on the far side of the field, but we're going to have offside here against West Shore as the initial indication. And our head referee today, Matt Pickering, will be marching West Shore back 5 more yards.
Good job by Van Newton to just make the tackle and get him out, not letting Zion Brown dance around him. Again, if you're the West Shore head coach, you're really not happy with your offense so far. They're struggling, and making the punt call for the Broncos seemed like the right decision, even though it was blocked.
And the bar's pretty high at West Shore, right? 4 straight Cullen Cup finals. Yeah. They've won just one of those against Okanagan. But here they are now, 1st and 20, and that ball will be spotted right at midfield. Again, the wide side of the field, 4 receivers. Zion Brown down in the slot below, and back to pass. Cancellaire, good arm, over the middle, bobbled but caught inside the 35-yard line. And nice reception on the play from Brady Jenkins. It'll bring up about 2nd and maybe a yard.
Time for one of those famous tush pushes maybe, but great play. It's scary when you're a receiver and you bobble the ball over the middle, because that typically is inviting a ton of contact. But Broncos unable to capitalize on that. Great job by West Shore to pick up 19 yards on 1st and 20.
All right, we'll see if Harrinan gets the ball in the backfield here. No. Back empties out, and now it's Brown, of course. Zion Brown, 20, 15. He's going to walk into the end zone here. Zion Brown knew this was the potential for a big game. He gets the 36-yard touchdown reception, and the West Shore Rebels strike on the final play of the first quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for these Kamloops Broncos DBs to be in man coverage against him. He's just big, fast, sure-handed. You know, your angles have to be perfect, and even if your angles are perfect against a guy like Zion Brown, he can dance. So you got to be careful if you're Kamloops Broncos defense and you're calling a lot of man coverage against them. You should probably be working on some zone, or if you're going to call man, you're going to need that extra guy over the top to help with man coverage there.
So Zion Brown entered the game with 247 yards receiving, the 3rd best in the BC Junior Football Conference, and he's already been good for at least 60 in this game through first quarter. And, you know, West Shore, let's call a spade here. They're coming in. They know this is a potential big game for their top players, like a Zion Brown. They're trying to pad some stats. This is their only shot they'll have against the Broncos this season, and they're trying to put up some big numbers, because when it comes down to, you know, all-star selection, when it comes down to even scholarships and opportunity to move on, a lot of that is decided on the stat sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. You do want to be able to get these guys the ball. So when it comes to the stat padding thing, I totally get it. I just think in a game like this, especially when you get 4-score leads, that's the time that you really do want to start establishing this connection with your other receivers, because Zion Brown, when he goes against other teams, he's going to get their best corner. He's going to get their coverage conditions right there. So what you really want is to start establishing other receivers with the quarterback.
So through it all, it'll be a kickoff here. Let's see if this one stays in bounds. And they'll actually switch up the kicker. We have a new one kicking off the ball. It's the running back, Jaron Herron. And what else can he do? It is up the middle, cutting forward near the 20-yard line. That is about it. But there is no doubt this one is going to be a line drive up the middle after the first two kickoffs go out of bounds.
And a good job by Clausen there to get on the ball and just go upfield. It's tough. Like, you've got 12 guys sprinting downfield to come and get you as hard as they can, but he secured the ball, ran upfield, made the right play. Good job, and the Broncos are going to have some tough starting position on their own 19-yard line.
Clausen has handled a lot of the returns so far this season, and now the Broncos will scrimmage from their own 19-yard line. Cole Rigler and company out, with two in the backfield, Ellis, and now just Ellis in the backfield, Stockbrugger. Back to pass, Rigler, look out, he is sacked. Back near his own 11-yard line, that time the protection breaking down, and West Shore gets their second sack of the football game.
Yeah, comes up with a little bit of a limp there. It's real tough. Like, if you're asking 5 guys to block 4, it's not so bad, but those 5 guys have to really work as a unit to move the defenders around a little bit. You'd like to see, with a smaller offensive line, that they're trying to pass defenders off on the interior so that you're helping, give them somewhere to go up the middle. It's a little bit difficult to do, but young offensive line, smaller than their D-line, you need a little bit more movement.
Yeah, and that was just there was just a jailbreak there. This one pass caught, and was it brought in, or is that knocked away? It's caught. Oh, that's intercepted, actually. They're going to say an interception down by contact at the 11. That ball bouncing around, and we'll try to get a number. We'll get a replay here on BCFC TV. Let's see what happened here. Ball deflected up, and somehow it ended up in the arms of Cameron Cohn. I don't know how he was able to intercept that one, but it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. What a catch.
That is such an amazing play by the DB. He's just going to rock the receiver, sees the ball up, throws his right hand, and just reels it in. That's a phenomenal play by the corner. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that before.
Well, we knew that West Shore ball hawks, and that's been a whole talk about it here. And you mentioned, looking for the hit, but hey, the ball's here. I might as well intercept it too. So 1st and 10 from the 11, already great field position here. Cancellaire shaked out of the pocket. He'll escape coverage. Will he take off? He'll throw corner of the end zone. Great catch, touchdown. Brought in by Brady Jenkins in the corner. Nice throw off the run from Cancellaire. And just like that, the Rebels put 6 more on the board after the interception.
Hey, a great job by the Broncos getting pressure, forcing him to roll to his left. If you can pick with a right-handed quarterback, that's where you want. You got everything that you wanted on the play. Coverage just not quite as sticky as you need it to be there. Great play for West Shore. It was a little bit of a broken play watching Cancellaire roll out to his left. That was a perfect throw in the corner. There's nothing that you could do to defend that.
So just to kick off here again, it's going to be Bowles, or not kickoff, sorry, the converts. And all of a sudden, pending the convert here, could be 23-0. And this one is through. And if you're the Broncos, you've just given too many short fields in this last stretch of game here, where it's been 1st and goal after a turnover, 1st and 10 from the 11 after an interception here. And the Broncos want to try and keep this close. Obviously, you got to make West Shore go the length of the field.
You're a young team. Your head coach has come out and said we've got a 3-year plan. They're wanting to develop as much as they can. I think right now, offensively, it's terrifying. I think the outside is really a tough place to go for them. It's a longer throw. It's a harder throw. I think right now you want to start working the ball with some crossing routes over the middle. You got to try to establish the run a little bit on 1st down, give them a little bit less room or a little bit less yardage that they need to get to pick up the 1st down. It's going to be a challenge on offense, but if you're the Broncos, it's kind of what you've signed up for this year, and offensively you're going to have to start finding something to get some yards.
Herron into kickoff again. Good leg up the middle. He'll boot it inside the end zone. That'll chase the Broncos. Can that get all the way through? It does, and that's a smart play down on the end of the field from Cole Clausen. Really good IQ. You don't want to put a hand on it. Just let it go all the way through the end zone.
Yeah, as long as it's going through the end zone, and he followed it all the way there. He did the right thing. If that ball stops, he's got to fall on it and just accept defeat on that play. That was a great kick. I'm curious why he hasn't been their kickoff guy all year.
Cole Clausen, who we talked about on the last broadcast here, spends a lot of time being part of the Christian community wherever he is playing football here in Kamloops right now, and mentioned in his bio that he loves his family on the field and he loves his family off the field. So that time his family will love him for not touching that ball and taking it all the way to the 35-yard line. So here we go. The Broncos trying to move the ball on offense. You mentioned you saw Rigler with a little bit of a limp. That could be a story here later on in the game. We'll wait and see. Here he is, handing off this time. And again, just not much there. This D-line for West Shore, making sure there's not a lot of room with this running game.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough block that he's got to make. The guy's bigger and faster than him. You'd like to see the guard just set just a little bit. Run blocking, you really should be going downhill, but with a guy who's bigger and faster than you, what you kind of want to do. I played O-line. I was the smallest guy. You want to find out where that D lineman's going, and you want to help him get there. And what I mean is let his weight and speed be the momentum that you're using against him in that moment.
Samir Clayton came in with a tackle. Now Rigler looks to take off. Up the middle, makes one man miss. He'll slide and take a bump. It should be enough for a first down. Rigler started his slide near the 45-yard line. We'll see where the spot is. And they're going to say a first down, so nice improvisation here from Rigler.
Hey, great job staying in the pocket and not running until the last possible minute, which was perfect on his side. And he gave just a little shimmy that he was going to throw the ball, and the linebacker for West Shore had to make a decision. Is he going to go for the tackle? Is he going to go for the pick? He tries to go for the pick, and great job picking up the first down from Rigler.
All right, so that leg must be feeling pretty good for Rigler. Takes it in the shotgun. He'll throw it to the near sidelines. It's caught there on the near sidelines, trying to get a little bit of room. We see a flag come in. Hudson Jones, the two-time provincial all-star there from South Can. Did he take a face mask there, James?
He actually pulled the mouth guard out of him. He's got one of those ones that hooks onto the face mask, and you can just see right there, he just rips it off. Pretty easy call for the official. Great play, throw to the outside, just get a few yards on first down and see what happens, and maybe a 4-yard gain turns into an additional 15 with the face mask penalty.
Yeah, Hudson Jones, good to see a good local player here, part of things, and you're right, catch the ball and see where that goes here for sure, but a little bit more on Hudson Jones, played for Team BC in the 2024 Canada Cup. He was actually being recruited by the University of Toronto and the Okanagan Sun for the 2025 season, but decided to just take a step back from football. He actually retired, had a change of heart. A year later, says, I missed the game, I want to come back. And now this ball is incomplete. Looked like Stockbrugger was open over the middle.
Hey, that was a great play design, and that's kind of what you're looking for if you're this young Broncos offense. You want to try to sneak receivers out, throws closer to the middle of the field. He just overthrows them. That'll happen in football, but boy, he had room to run if he gets his hands on that ball. Brilliant play design there.
Agree with that. Now we got a timeout here on the field. Coming to the sidelines is Jose Gonzalez. And West Shore actually is the team that's taking the timeout. So we're happy that this game is taking place here. What's going on the field right now, James? Let's see, a little bit of a water break. Okay. Timeout on the field?
Timeout on the field, maybe. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy to hear that Hudson Jones is back. He's the one wearing the Guardian cap. Looks good. I think when it first came out, it definitely, you saw a few players like Romeo Dobbs in the NFL, and you were just a little curious about it. But, I think more and more players are wearing it, and I think it's a great idea out there. Once you get used to the look of it, the first time you see it, it kind of shocks you. But, anything for player safety, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah, you're seeing it everywhere. CFL, the Lions game playing right now. We saw Saskatchewan and Ottawa last time the CFL. It's just growing more and more, and I think as more players put it on, I think you're going to see it's going to be a bit of a chain reaction here around the league.
I'm pretty sure it'll be something that'll be mandatory in football in 5 to 10 years, and you'll have players that, like the old NHL, not having to wear a helmet. It'll just be one of those things.
Okay, so it's First down, up the middle. Trying to fight forward here is M.K. Ellis. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage. And it's second down.
I love that run, though. Like, there wasn't a lot there, but he planted his foot and just got north and south. He's not dancing. He found the hole and just hit it. There's not a lot you can do if the linebacker is going to fill that hole, but at least you're attacking. You're going downhill. You're setting the tone. I'd rather see that than kind of dancing behind the line of scrimmage and trying to find the hole to run out. Like, some guys get the delusions of grandeur that they're going to break out and be Bell for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Le'Veon Bell, back in the day. But that was a great run there from M.K. Ellis.
They're going to try it again, but big tackle from the nose tackle out of Wales. And, boy, did Yezin Wrights ever read the playbook there?
Yeah, when you're in the backfield and it looks like you're untouched, yeah, that's just a miscommunication from the offensive line. I'm not sure if that's zone blocking or what, but the center went to help with the defensive tackle, but 99's his man right there on that play. Tough play call there, and it looks like the Broncos offense is staying on the field. Interesting that they're staying on the field on this play with 3rd and 6 and not on the last drive when they decided to punt, but maybe they're a little concerned about the punting game right now.
Yeah, I would think after a block and then last week's struggles in Prince George. So it is 3rd down gamble to throw it and to the sidelines in behind the intended target. They were looking for Hudson Jones again, and the Broncos will turn things over on down.
This is a great play by Riegler, and this is what the offensive play call is. It's basically get to the marker, throw it right away. Jones just took that route just a little too deep, open for it, but unfortunately, turnover on down for the Broncos. They had room. They were able to, get what they wanted on that defensive play call, but just unable to execute.
So West Shore takes over. John Keane and James Bicknell calling the action. One of 3 games in the BCFC this week. You also have Langley Rams, who look like the real deal again up in Prince George, and Okanagan hosting the Valley Huskers here this evening. Okanagan 2-0. Now they'll bring it out on the right side and lots of room to run here. Big play here, West Shore. Up the right side, still on his feet, and I think we're going to see a touchdown all the way. And it's going to be Ephraim Fisher, but did he step out of bounds, James?
Yeah, it looks like they're saying he stepped out of bounds, but the West Shore receivers did just one of the, this is teaching tape as far as blocking is concerned. You want to see this out of your receivers because they're going to get their opportunity to run a play like this at some point, and they're downfield, and they cannot wait to get a hat on a hat. They're doing everything they can to help their teammate get in the end zone. That's teaching tape as far as blocking from receivers.
So Ephraim Fisher just stepped out at the 35-yard line. That was awful close. Now, that's the far sideline. When we look at that replay, he must have just stepped onto the white paint, and it will still be a massive play, but not the touchdown. It is 1st and 10 from the 35. And quarterback Cancellaire in the shotgun. 3 receivers short side of the field. He'll look there. Has a man. It is caught. It is Brady Jenkins again. Jenkins near the 20. He'll cross the 20. It's a first down for West Shore.
And these are simple reads for Cancellaire. He's got receivers that are flooding these zones right now, and the safety's playing a little bit deeper, or the halfback's playing a little bit deeper, so he just has to hit one of the guys. If you're the DB on that side, you're just living in a nightmare right now because you're trying to cover 2 guys at different depths on the same side. It's really difficult to do that, and again, you don't want to be moving your halfback up and getting burnt deep, but they've just got the Broncos defense in struggles right now.
Might be Zion Brown territory. He's in the slot. They will run the ball up the middle and a few yards on that carry.
And a great job by the Broncos defense just to limit the damage. They did a good job with the defensive line and just collapsing the hole. Looked like they had a little bit of a pressure going on and filling in their gaps and not allowing that run to go for any more than 2-3 yards there.
Good tackle, Lyndon Mitchell. He was waiting for Heron in the hole. Second-year Bronco Lyndon Mitchell. And we mentioned out of North Battleford, and here will be 2nd and about 7. From the 16-yard line. Quarterback Cancellaire gets his receivers in motion. He will dance in the pocket. Now will track back to his own 35-yard line, looking for a man, trying to put some hand signals in. The throws has a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, West Shore. And wide open on the play was Antoine Barrett. Barrett is good for 6, and West Shore makes it 30-0.
A great play by Cancellaire to escape the pressure, step up, and start directing traffic a little bit. The defensive back at the end of the play loses his man a little bit, and just great pitch and catch there. Right on the money. Doesn't get any easier than that once you start breaking out of the pocket. But a good job by the Broncos defense. They got some pressure. They were working it a little bit. Just lost his man at the end, and the result is 6.
Well, all of a sudden, Bowles out for another convert. He might be a top point getter this week here with another convert. And that one's blocked, though. Spoke too soon. The announcer jinx strikes. Maybe for a good side of the jinx on that opportunity. As Bowles has the convert blocked, it'll stay 30-0.
Hey, good job by the defense, not giving anything up, and they just went right up the gut there on the, looked like the interior guard, and just got leverage. Perfect play. You get under him, drive him back, and then get those hands up, and can't ask for anything more than that.
Let's shout out Chayton Kazawan, number 90. He was the one that got through and got his hands up and was able to block that convert. So small victory for the Broncos out of Clarence Fulton secondary. He was there for 5 years. And he was a senior there that led his team in tackles and forced fumbles. So this will be an interesting note. Kazawan talking about if football doesn't pan out in his future, he wants to pursue rodeo. So
rodeo.
Yeah, they're little related. Right?
You know, you need a few of those guys on your team.
Oh, big time. You need the guys showing up in the Wranglers, in the boots, and the lunch buckets. Here we go. After the touchdown is kicked off. Handled at the 6-yard line. Now to the 15-20. A little bit of room up the middle, and eventually tackled is Cole Clausen, but he does cross the 25-yard line. And that's where the Broncos will scrimmage here. It'd be nice to try and get yourself in a position to even get a field goal or put some points up here before the end of the half.
Well, I liked your comment earlier about the little victories. That's something my dad's been trying to convince me of for years when it comes to my golf game. You know, just take the little victories. Don't let it all get to your head.
Let yourself win now and then,
It's
right?
okay, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
You hit a good chip, hey, you might 3-putt after, but, like, enjoy the good chip. You know, it's okay. If you're the Broncos right now, you're looking for those little victories. Like, you had a pretty good offensive drive going there. Nothing wrong with that. You know, you're the youngest team in the BCFC. You might even be the youngest team in the CJFL.
Likely.
So, you know, taking those little victories is a very important step.
Rigler back to pass. He'll throw over the middle, has a receiver, and got to near the 34-yard line before being pushed back. But we're talking probably 7 or 8 yards on that first down play.
That's a perfect first down play. You're working that little slant from the outside in. It's an easier throw for the quarterback. Great tackle there coming up by Cameron Cohn, who had the pick 6 taken away earlier from a penalty. But, yeah, if you're the Broncos, that's kind of what you're looking for. Those short to medium passes. You're probably not looking to get anything deep right now. Just matriculate the ball down the field, as Hank Stram once said.
You know, this would be a running situation, but there hasn't been a lot of room here for MK Ellis, and now the back empties, and they'll throw it. Caught on the play. First down yards and more. It is Hudson Jones. He'll get across the 40-yard line, still on his feet before eventually brought down on the play. But that's a nice second down conversion on 2nd and 2.
Well, we praised the West Shore receivers for their blocking and some great blocking from the Broncos receivers here. They just find the hat on a hat and give him a little bit of room to run and, you know, let the ball carrier do the rest. You just got to find your one guy. And that's football, just doing a beautiful job of blocking so that the guy with the ball gets all the praise, but it's the blockers that set everything up on that play.
Max Teradashian on the tackle. First down, Broncos. 1 on the backfield, 3 receivers sprint out to the wide side of the field. MK Ellis stays in a block. Now Rigler's in trouble, sacked. Any play that, you know, takes a little bit of extra time to develop is going to hurt the Broncos for sure, as West Shore had a little bit of a meeting in the backfield.
Yeah. MK Ellis stayed into block, and he did the right thing. He read inside out. You just want that read to be just a little bit quicker because that end just came flying off the end like a banshee. So you'd just like to see exactly what he did. He stepped up in the pocket, eyes there, Hey, he's on the wrong side to try to make that block anyway, but tough play for him to make. And like to see the O-line hold up a little bit longer, but yeah, longer developing plays will be a bit of a crutch.
There's a loss of about 8 yards on the play, so it's second and long. Wriggler out of the shotgun, empty backfield. He'll throw a quick one and nearly intercepted. I thought it bounced. And trying to make a case there is Cameron Cohn, who already has an interception. Leave some for the rest of the players there, Cameron. And it will be a punting scenario.
Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication here because the receiver didn't really go to attack that ball. He just kind of eased up at the end of his route there, and I don't know if he thought that the quarterback was going to be throwing to him or if he was going somewhere else, but interesting little hiccup there. And we've got the punt team out. See if they've cured any of their punt team ills.
One thing you're seeing already is the Broncos have their punter bounce the snap in there, but still time to get it away. And Hagan will punted, handled on the fly, and good speed up the left side here for Barrett. And he's tackled near midfield, and it looked like Barrett was going to get a little bit of room here to run, but the Broncos on special teams limit the game.
A great job by the punter to pick this ball up and get it off quickly. On the one that he got earlier that got blocked, it was a clean snap, but he just didn't get it away as quickly. He gets that one away. We've seen a lot of helmets come off for West Shore this game.
Yeah.
I wonder if the coach didn't give him the buckle up your chin strap speech for this game.
Well, that was Levi Koenig on the tackle, second-year Bronco in his 8th year of playing football. Says he likes to travel, likes to fish, so I guess he's in a pretty good spot. He's traveled to Kamloops, and we know that we got some good fishing in the neighborhood.
Pretty good around here.
All right, so first down West Shore, and a handoff and a flag. Lots of room here for Carson Graham. Graham still running, 30-25 near the 20. Well, let's check the flag in the backfield, James. This could be coming back, and it will be.
Yeah, better job out on the edge. I'm not exactly sure who's getting the holding call, but you can see the left side of the D-line just comes crashing in. The guy who's trying to set the edge out there, number 21, just goes inside thinking he's going to make that play. You want to see him come on the outside, but all of that's for naught, and the Broncos get a new chance on life here.
West Shore's got some good athletes, and another back touching the ball with some breakout speed there, and that was Carson Graham. But the hold will move West Shore back 10. It will be first and 20. They will scrimmage here now from the 43-yard line, 42-yard line.
Yeah, it's just infuriating as a coach anytime you're going backwards on first down, but the play was really well designed. They got the edge. Again, the Broncos' young defense, they're trying to get inside those outside blocks, which is, unless you're a freak athlete, you're not going to make that play. You've got all your help on the inside, so you just want them to try to set that edge and force the running back upfield. First
and 20, passing scenario. Cancellaire has a man near midfield. Now the 50, still on his feet, spinning, 45, and that'll be a first down. That's about a 27-yard catch and run, and that's a good athlete again. That's Brady Jenkins on the catch, a first down.
And starting to spread the ball around a little bit on offense, and if you're West Shore, that's what you want to see. You know, Zion Brown's going to get his stats this year one way or another. It's nice to see them spreading the ball around. For the Broncos, you want to see them get their body a little bit more into the tackles. It's a little bit of hands there, just hoping the receiver will go down. Got to put the body on the line.
One thing I've noticed, James, smoky conditions the smoke has increased here over the last hour. No longer can we see our friends Mount Peter and Paul. They'll try the run again. Carson Graham on the right side. He's just going to outrun everybody. 10-5 touchdown. Carson Graham scores from the 40-yard line. It's a 40-yard dash for 6, and West Shore adds to their lead.
Yeah, speed kills. What do you say about that? Like, the running back just gets the outside edge, and no one's going to catch him. Does a good job with a little bit of a delayed handoff. Just tough play for the defensive end there to make. You know, you want to see him force it inside a little bit, but you also, you know, when you're on the field, you're trying to make that tackle. You're trying to make that play, and who's to say, you know, you set that edge, you got to really hold your water and try to hold him back there as long as possible. Tough play for the Broncos defender there.
Broncos blocked the last convert, and it will be Aiden Bowles to try this one here again. Good snap, And this one is through. So a minute 52 to go in this first half at Hillside Stadium. Again, 32 Celsius temperature at kickoff. A lot of wind. You know, you got these players from the island. We know the island weather is beautiful, right? We know Victoria is a beautiful place to be in the summer, but not quite 33 degrees and humid. I don't know if that's going to be a factor at all for some of the island players. We'll wait and see.
I mean, if you're the coach, it's just conditioning practice because, you know, right now this game's well in hand. You're looking at, hey, we're going to have to go visit the Okanagan Sun at some point. When that happens, it's going to be just like this. So, again, just another teachable training moment. You're going to have your guys running all game and get it going.
Definitely, Langley and Okanagan have shown that they are the top teams here going. And then, you know, obviously VI with a big win over West Shore. Someone's trying to be that sort of that third team this year.
The league's always better when you have 3 or 4 teams that are all just competing against each other like that.
Kickoff is a deep one. This will be Clausen from his 6-yard line. He'll try the left side. Got around one. A little bit of room here for Clausen. Puts his head down. He'll get to the 35-yard line. So small victories once again. And that was Cole Clausen with a good return.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can make the kicker be the one to do the tackle, you've done something right. And he just gets going upfield and then starts to break outside. That's exactly what you want to see out of a young returner. Start by going forward and then find your hole and then adapt. That's the way to do it. You see too often a lot of guys think that if they start working it side to side right away, but all they're doing is taking away their own room when they do that. So a good job to go upfield first and then make the decision to go outside.
What a 31-yard return from Clausen. First down, minute 43 on the clock here at Hillside Stadium. John Keane and James Bicknell calling the action here, BCFC TV. Thank you for joining us here in week 4 of league action. First down, Rigler will operate. West Shore showing pressure. Here's the pitch. Trying to find a little bit of room to the sidelines is Stockbrugger, and he'll get a couple of yards, and then we have a flag come in at the end of the play right in front of the Broncos bench. And it's going to be a penalty against West Shore near the end of the play.
What a great job just to get back to the line of scrimmage and even gain a couple of yards on that play. He's got a little bit of speed to his game. That was well done. On a very deep toss play, he had to get about 10 yards forward to even get back to the line of scrimmage. That was well done, well executed.
All right, so Lloyd Hagan and this offense here trying to move some yardage, and that 15-yard penalty will definitely help. So the Broncos here with still plenty of time will see the ball from their own 54-yard line.
And it looks like the wind is picking up a little bit. The Broncos appear to be going into the wind here right now.
So the clock stopping on the penalty.
Looks like a 2-club wind, if I may say.
2-club win? Maybe. It could be a 1-club win here. Back to pass. Rigler's going to air it out this time. Looking down the sidelines, but he threw it out of bounds. He was looking for Hudson Jones again, but you got to try and put that ball where your receiver can catch it in bounds.
Hey, but you know what? That's a great throw. It's a great play call because you got to stretch the defense out at some point. You can't just stay short to intermediate all game. You try to set that up. He's in double coverage, but neither defender is able to make that play. It's all up to the receiver. I actually think it's a pretty well-thrown ball where his guy was the only guy who had a play on it, not risking a turnover on 1st and 10. I think that's pretty well executed by the Broncos, by the quarterback, Riegler there. Yeah, maybe you want to see it just a little closer to that line, but it wasn't in harm's way at all. So
yeah, you're right. I think West Shore probably the best shot at that ball if it was in bounds with the double coverage. All right, so it is 2nd and 10 near midfield. Rigler looks like pressure coming. And Rigler rolls to his left. Will he take off? He'll plant. He'll throw. Has a man. First down and a little more near the 41-yard line.
I'm not totally sure if that rollout was scripted, but boy, that worked out so brilliantly for the Broncos. West Shore sent a blitz on the left side. He rolled away from it, found the open guy, picks up the first down. That's the little victories that you're looking to see. And if you can pile a few of those together, you're going to feel really good about where your offense is at going into half.
Lloyd Hagan on the reception, a 3-year starter at South Cam. And we mentioned the only touchdown of the season for the Broncos. They're in business here, 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. 3 receivers to Rigler's left, or to the right, and he'll look left. And again, Hagen, did he get out of bounds? He did. That'll stop the clock. And about 5 yards.
And that's what you're looking for on first down. He gets a quick pitch and catch. They know that the pressure's coming. West Shore sent another blitz. He gets the ball out quick, hits the open receiver, 5 yards. Call it 4 yards there. Nothing to complain about if you're the offensive coordinator. You're thrilled with that.
Ethan Sagers gets about 3 on the play. Getting into field goal range now. The kicker, Gilmore, was hitting them from about 35, 40 yards in the pregame. So we'll wait and see here. Second down, under a minute, ball batted away, and that'll bring up third down. So now you do the math. It's about a 45-yarder here. I don't think you're – what are you doing here? Are you kicking it? Let's see.
I don't know if I'm kicking it. I don't know.
Timeout. Broncos are going to think about it here anyways.
Timeout's a good call. I don't see any reason not to go for it.
You mentioned
here.
the wind, though, right? You mentioned now the wind is in the Broncos' face. That may negate a 40-plus yard field goal attempt now.
And you may as well be going for it. There's not a ton of time left. You can trust your defense to try to get a hold before half. West Shore is going to start with the ball, so they may just be looking to get into halftime and then have a new plan for offense. You never know if they're going to bring in the backup or come out and work on some more offense for them. But Broncos have done a good job on this drive. I like the call. Looks like they're sending the quarterback back out. I like going for it here. I don't see any reason not to. You're deeper in their own end. You may as well try to get some points up on the board with only 31 seconds to go in the half.
Okay, so, I agree. I agree with you, James. I like the call, but you also need to get about 7 yards on this play. Obvious passing scenario. We've seen Rigler also take off once in this game for a first down. He'll roll to his right, looking for an open receiver, and he'll throw, and it is caught. And it looked like a bit of a late hit, and it will be flagged as Tyson Sopp, he threw that shoulder in there for no reason, but 15-yard penalty is upcoming here.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be going for that tackle on that. Like, you've already gotten the ball back. It's you wanting to emphasize that he didn't get it. He got his hands on it, and if the ball was still a little bit closer to the receiver at the end, you could maybe justify that tackle. But the ball was well away from him, and he was just trying to emphasize a play. No reason for that, and the Broncos are now getting much closer to field goal territory into maybe a one-club win. I'm just looking at that Canada flag over at the hillside and seeing a little more action. But
a little bit over there. It feels like it's just got a whole lot more smoky here in the last 15 minutes or so, too. We're in a nice air-conditioned booth. We're not really facing the elements, but you can definitely feel the smell and taste the smoke that has sort of come in. But that should be a 15-yard penalty. Just wait. They're going to say, so it was after the play was over.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it is still a change of possession. The 15-yard penalty applied after the play. So it will be West Shore ball. They'll have 22 seconds. We've seen them bust some big plays here. If you're the Broncos, got to be careful.
I like the play call. I like the boot. I think he had time. He hit the receiver. You'd like to see the receiver haul that in. Sometimes it's a tough play, but I like the call if you're the coach. I think you did everything that you could do there, and now you're doing everything you can on defense to keep them out of the end zone for 22 seconds.
Okay, so the West Shore Rebels get back to work. The receiver Josh Nevin lining it way on the far side of the field. They'll run the ball up the middle, and again, it's Herron. He'll get to the 35-yard line, so gain of about 12, but I think the Broncos will take that on first down.
And West Shore is going to go hurry up here. They got 15 seconds left and might be trying to get into field goal range.
They have to re-spot the football here as umpire Ed Jarek puts the ball at the 35-yard line and gets out of dodge for this first down play. Back to pass. Cancellaire over the middle. It's caught on the move. Still on his feet. Across the 47-yard line. And that is Aiden Bowles with 2.6 seconds on the clock. They'll get one more play here before halftime.
Just worked his way down the seam. You know everyone's going to be going a little bit deeper here. And the defensive player there, I think it was Mitch Landry, just unable to come up with a little pass deflection there. Tough from the linebacker spot going with the receiver at full speed. But 2.6 seconds. The Broncos will have to see what they can do for a level of prevent defense to keep the Rebels out of the end zone.
For the Broncos, you have 4 on the line. Bit of a prevent defense. Yeah, like you mentioned, 44-yard line is where the ball is spotted. Quarterback Anthony Cancellaire gets the play in from the sidelines. I see the Broncos. You call these small victories. Keeping this from 6 would be a small one to try and get you to halftime.
Yeah, 2 big plays for the Rebels there. You'd like to see them keep them out of the end zone if you're the Broncos.
Rebels probably feel like they're in the final minute of last week's game against VI, and they'll throw it up here. There's a man in behind. And just bobbled. Getting in behind was Brady Jenkins, and I'm wondering, how do you let that happen, get a receiver in behind you? It falls incomplete, and we're at halftime.
Well, you're going to take your victories where you can get them. The Broncos sent a blitz. They went right up the middle, number 90, with a ton of pressure there. Kwasin, good job. And if you're the receiver on that one, you know that you just missed your opportunity for a quick 6.
Well, that's the half, and if we look at both of these teams coming out of the half, James, we'll talk about it here coming into the second half, but we know the West Shore not taking their foot off their gas pedal here. I spoke with their head coach, Coach Brian, earlier today, and there is no sort of trying to let up at this point. They're trying to get things right for some big games down the stretch.
Well, and, you've made the trip. It's a long bus ride. It's a long ferry ride. You're going to be playing hard all the way to the whistle. It's not one of those things where a coach is looking for you to take your foot off the gas. No, he wants to see what have you worked on in practice. It's time to see those little things all come together.
Okay, we'll head to the half where the score is West Shore 37, the Broncos nothing. John Keane and James Bicknell will be back for the second half here on BCFC TV.
All right, Broncos ticket holders tonight. We're going to draw for tickets, and then we're going to dance for dinner here for Red Tomato Pie. Take out your tickets, and if you are a ticket holder of 0078 and 0055, you're the winner of 2 Popeyes packs. Look back here. Towels, hats, swag, Budweiser tees from Labatt's and Popeyes. That's ticket number 0055 and 0078. Oh, we got ourselves a winner. Nice job there. There we go. That's one winner. Our winners. Nice job, Broncos fans.
I took this.
Phenomenal.
I think we're both off at east now. Good. Okay. And then that variable, you can mess with that variable. Yeah.
We're going to dance for our dinner coming up in just a couple of moments. For Red Tomato Pie, our giveaway tonight from our sponsors at Red Tomato Pie here in Kamloops. Great sponsors of Broncos football. Kamloops locally owned and operated for delicious fresh pizza. Red Tomato Pie. All right, we got more Popeyes packs on the back here. 4 towels, hats, and Budweiser tea swag to get away. Ticket number 0019, 0066, 0032, and 0101. You're all winners tonight. Grab your tickets once again. I'll repeat those right now. Tickets for your Kamloops Broncos. Take them out tonight. Ticket subs at 0019, 0066, 0032, and 0101. You are the winner of a swag pack from Popeyes, including Labatt's. for our dinner tonight from Red Tomato Pie. If you want to dance, we'd love to have you. It's that time to dance for our dinner. From Red Tomato Pie, let's see you dance, Kamloops. Gift cards from Red Tomato Pie, fresh pizza here in Kamloops. It's not just a giveaway, it's a dance giveaway. Let's do another giveaway from our Popeyes and Labatt's. Take out your ticket stub, and let's give away another prize pack to 0046. That's 0046. A gift card from Popeyes and Labatt's. Some cool gear, including t-shirts, hats, towels. That's 0046. Put your hand up if you got that ticket stub. welcome back to the field your Kamloops Broncos. Let's hear those Broncos third quarter action down here, brought to you by Fastnet. Thank you so much to our sponsors tonight here. The Broncos football. Zach and Pepperoni, Trophy Developments, and Popeyes. Giving away Popeyes swag today. And the one retailer sports nutrition products. Canada. Over 140 locally owned and operated stores throughout the country. The priority is to help everyone be the best version of themselves. With Popeyes here at Hillside Stadium. Good night tonight. It's 32 degrees, a warm night in Kamloops, and the quarter there, we saw some great highlights from your Kamloops team tonight. And look, I mean, the Rebels come in and put 37 here on the board. Broncos looking for the first score of the game. Lots to be excited about. Lots to be fired up about.
Good evening, everybody. Once again, John Keane and James Bicknell as we get set for the second half of the Kamloops Broncos hosting the West Shore Rebels. A 37-0 game as we get set for the third quarter. And James, the wind has picked up. It's gotten more smoky. I think it's something definitely that, the officials will be keeping an eye on here in the second half.
Yeah, it's really tough if you're coordinating the event. You really want the game to go on, but at some point, it just does get a little bit too smoky. Maybe they just try to do running time and get the players off the field. But, either coach or even either team, you're here to play. You want to play the game. You're not really worried about the smoke, but at some point they may have to intervene, and we'll see what happens there. But as far as the players coming out onto the field, if you're West Shore, you maybe want to tighten up a few things on offense and tighten up with the penalties. They took quite a few penalties in that first half, and if you're the Broncos, you're looking for those small victories. Let's get some points on the board and try to matriculate the ball down the field and just tighten up those zones a little bit on defense. They've gotten a little bit of pressure, so lots to work on, but lots of positives if you're the Broncos.
Gabrielle Gilmore to kick off, and the second half is underway. This is a good boot, but it's heading towards the sidelines, and for the third time this game, we see a kick go out of bounds. Now, that wind is blowing things toward the near sideline as you see it on the field here, James, but again, no excuse. You got to keep that ball between the hash marks.
When you got your 58-degree wedge out, you do have to pay attention to the wind because that ball's going to be up there. That wind's going to take it. You'd like to see him start that maybe down the seam and let the wind push it over a little bit, but unfortunately for Broncos special teams, unable to keep that in bounds. Great starting field position for the West Shore Rebels.
So Anthony Cancellaire at quarterback in the first half, 10 for 15 passing for 193 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He will handle it in the shotgun and hand the ball off up the middle. Harridan gets some help from his own lineman, pushes him forward, and that'll be about a 9-yard run on first down.
If you're not going to be able to find someone to block, you may as well push the running back forward. It does look like we've gone to running time for this second half just to deal with the smoke a little bit. So should it be a fairly quick half of football here, but yeah, it's tons of fun when you're an offensive guard just to see the running back and go, here's an extra 5 yards for you.
All right, so yes, first down here for West Shore. We've talked from their coach, they may go more no huddle if it's going to go straight time. We'll wait and see if that's a factor here. Now they'll throw it midfield and a little bit more, 52-yard line, and that's enough to move the chains. And on the reception, that's Logan Christie, big Logan Christie. I believe that was the number there. Yeah, Christie gets the first down yardage, put his head down and got across the midfield stripe.
But that's that gang tackling we're talking about. It's a good job to hold the receiver up and just let the guys come. You don't have to be the guy to always make the tackle. It's a good job just to hold them up, let the reinforcements come. They'll take care of the rest.
So it is first down West Shore, and the clock is running. They have a healthy 37-point lead. They will now quarterback keeper. Cancellaire has room. Across the 40, he'll step out of bounds near the 37-yard line. That was first time that the quarterback decided to keep the ball. You knew what's coming at some point, and that's a big game.
And that's what you're doing with that play. It's a little zone read, and you're just trying to lure that edge to sleep. You just want him to crash down on the run, and the minute your eyes go down the line of scrimmage, that quarterback knows he's going to pull that ball, and he's got daylight and a pretty easy 15-yard gain there for Cancellaire.
First down, 37-yard line. Cancelaire looking for some of the receivers out here. There's Zion Brown, top of the screen in the slot. Back to pass. He'll look down the sidelines and dropped. Looked like that ball was getting over top of the defenders, and Aiden Bowles had a great chance to bring it in. He just couldn't.
Yeah, great job by the Broncos defender. I thought it was 24 Ivan Tong out there. Never got his head around, but that's okay. If you're going to stay on the receiver, you're going to make it difficult for him to catch there. So good job and a nice little punch at the end. And what he's doing there is just going up between the receiver's arm. He's not trying to hit the receiver. He just wants to try to get that ball out. It was well timed. Great play by the corner there.
Okay, now 2nd and 10. Cancelaire in shotgun here. He'll look to the left, now over the middle, has a man. It's caught near first down yardage and more. Bouncing off a tackle, still on his feet, crossing down to the 10-yard line. Josh Nevin. Yeah, that's his first catch of the football game. Lyndon Mitchell in the tackle.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that drives a defensive coordinator crazy. The receiver got open. He did a good job. It's just the tackle with just the shoulder.
Yeah.
You got to wrap up. If you're not going to wrap up, you're going to give him, like he did earlier in the drive, the offensive guard pushed the running back forward 5. He hit him forward 7. He had momentum, and he just let him go. Got to wrap up on that.
Cancelaire, he'll pitch out this time. It's Herronen as a blocker out in front. Herronen trying to find the cone, and he will. And a touchdown here for Herronen on the run from 10 yards out. And the West Shore Rebels have added to their lead as Jaron Herronen out of Cloverdale gets 6.
And they've run that play a couple of times on the Broncos in this exact side of the field. Slot back comes in and cracks the defensive end. Offensive tackles running out, and the only guy out there was the corner. Really tough play for a corner to make when you've got what appears to be a 6'7", 400-pound left tackle coming at you. That's not a play that the corner's really wanting to make, and if he goes and crashes into that block, there's still no one to make the tackle. He's just in no man's land there. Nothing he can do about that.
A little bit of early movement here, and the kick is up and through. A flag did fly. I think it's going to be offside Kamloops. That'll be declined. But, we talk about the smoke game, and, August in the interior, we get a little bit of this, and this reminds me of 2018. In fact, it was West Shore. They were coming to Kamloops for a game in mid-August, height of fire season, wildfire smoke, and there was some talk, are they going to play the game or not? Well, West Shore got on the ferry, they got off the ferry, got on their bus, they got as far as Hope, and the game was canceled. And if you're West Shore, you're thinking, oh man, that's not great. So they canceled that game, and what did they do to make it up? They played a 4-point game in Victoria in their meeting later in the season.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to come up with they ran out of hope in Hope.
Yes.
You're notorious for these one-liners that you set up
notorious.
for. So.
Well, hope you make it, I guess, is what we say here. All right, so here we go. Kickoff and another good boot. This will chase all the way back inside the end zone. And it's Stockbrugger looking for a little bit of room, still on his feet, reverses, and gets to around the 15-yard line. Stockbrugger on the return, and the Bronco offense here with Cole Rigler will get things going. At some point, I wonder if we do see perhaps the backup quarterback, and that is J.R. Howdle. We'll wait and see if that does happen here.
I think they've done a good job of keeping Riegler upright. They've allowed a couple of sacks, but, they've started to work the boot game a little bit. They've tried to keep him upright. They've had the extra blockers here and there. I don't see any reason to pull him unless that leg injury maybe flares up a little bit and there is a reason to pull him. But I say younger team, younger quarterback, you got to try to leave him in the game as long as possible. It looks like we're having a conversation on the sideline here with the game commissioner and the head official, just figuring out if the smoke is too much or you almost can make out Mount Paul. We'll see what they have to say.
Yeah,
they've
smoke
stopped
definitely
the clock
is
right
picked up
now.
here. Okay, so there's the officials. You can see Matt Pickering. You can see the head umpire, Ed Jarek, and the game commissioner here. And I think they just have to likely figure out what they're doing with the smoke. I do like the straight time that they went to here. But obviously they have to talk things over here and see if they can continue to play under these conditions.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you're the West Shore head coach, I'm quite certain you want to play it out. You want everything to keep going. You've traveled a long way. You want to be working on this. Looks like they may be letting them play a little bit more, but I'm not quite sure. Looks like they're having a chat with both teams there.
Well, they're going to talk things over and just see what the best plan is. But it is Broncos football, and both teams are on the field. And the Broncos in the first half had just 5 first downs as opposed to 16 for West Shore. And Cole Regler will scrimmage here from the 14-yard line. Wasn't much of a running game in that first half. MKL is 4 carries for -1. They will try a double reverse, and that's going to be trouble. It's recovered. Let's see who's on the football. It is West Shore on the football, as that play had some moving parts, James, and it's a fumble deep inside territory.
That's tough, and it looked like they had that jet sweep to go for yardage too. Like they had the edge, and that's the hard part is with that play design, the running back is cracking down and hitting that edge defender. They had the edge if they just let the receiver run that without the reverse. And I always understand the temptation to run these additional plays, but if you fake that pitch to Stockbrugger, he had room to get at least 10 yards, if not more. Kind of a shame. I understand younger team, you want to try to keep them involved and you want to run these plays that you practice over and over again, but I don't know about that with the first play coming out at half.
So how many times have we seen the turnover deep inside territory, too? And we had another first and goal, and Cancelaire has time. Now chased out of the pocket to look to the right side. He'll throw it to the end zone. He'll skip that in. And Zion Brown was the closest receiver, and that'll go incomplete.
Now, I am not qualified to critique Zion Brown on that at all, and what he did was correct initially. I would have liked to have seen him come back to the ball, so he's working his way to the inside, sees the quarterback is scrambling to his right, he works his way to the right. You just want to see him start coming back because he's already at the back of the end zone, and that throw was a good throw by Cancelaire because he's putting it not in harm's way. By throwing it short, Zion Brown can be coming back to that ball and be the only player with a chance to get it.
Second and goal over the middle, looking for Brown. It's incomplete. Brown was open, but that pass was just a little bit in front. It'll be third and goal, and maybe it's field goal unit time. You gotta practice all facets of the game, and it looks like that's what West Shore is doing here, James.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right call if you're the coach. Practice all facets, like you're saying, and good for them for not trying to run it up too much right now. I mean, Zion was wide open. It was just a missed throw, and Broncos might be getting away by only giving up 1 or 3 points here.
So it's basically a convert, but it's from the right hash, which adds a little bit of degree of difficulty.
They got a lefty kicker, though. That should be right up his alley.
Okay. Maybe it was set up that way, right? Aiden Bowles will kick what's a 15-yarder. High snap, they're going to fake it. Look at Zion Brown, and he's going to walk into the end zone and take back everything we said about running up the scoreboard. Take it all back. West Shore goes to the trickery book, already up by 44 points.
Well, here's what I'll say about that. If you're Zion Brown and that's what you're seeing off the edge, you may as well take it. They don't have any extra defenders. They've been trying to block the kicks heavy all night, haven't played it safe at all. It works out well for them. You're going to practice everything today. You're not here to, kick the extra point, kick the field goal. It might have been nice practice, but you're practicing these fake field goals as well.
Yeah,
and the
but
Broncos
you're
not
putting on
prepared
tape.
at all.
You're putting on tape a fake field goal play up 43 points.
A lot of the time when you're doing that, you're actually trying to set up a different fake for a different opponent.
Okay.
So you're not showing them your top tier
play.
You're giving them something on tape that they're going to practice.
Yeah.
And now the next time they run it, Zion's going to have a little tight end that leaks out and he's going to be throwing the ball. Or, you've got other wrinkles in there. Him and the kicker are going to run a little option, however you're going to do it. You're showing them something to think about, but there's probably about 5 to 8 plays off of that you're practicing. You're wanting teams to see that and go, hey, we got to be prepared for this. When they run that fake next time, there's going to be a bunch of wrinkles off of it. So
Okay, fair.
I
So
don't.
we're sitting at the bar, and we haven't reached for the top shelf stuff just right. Just yet.
That's
coming.
That's a Johnny Walker Red of special team
Gotcha.
trick plays if
All
I've
right.
ever seen it.
Yeah,
Coach
there you go.
Vankenet, if you're watching, that's not one of those ones that he's got in his playbook, but it's one that he would have to set up another 3.
That's right. There you go. All right, so we're going to kick it off, and it will be handled here deep at the 6-yard line. Stockbrugger up the middle, head down, gets around the 25-yard line before he is pushed back, and the ball comes out late, and that's going to get a little bit of a reaction. Is a little aggressive on the play. There was Miles McPherson on the West Shore side, but the Broncos will take over on offense, and we'll see if they can move the ball here. We mentioned the 5 first downs they had in the first half.
Yeah, they were doing a good job towards the end of the half of just moving the ball and getting a few yards on first. I'd like to see them maybe work a trick play in when they're on the other side of half, not deep in their own territory. You know, I think that fly sweep was wide open on that previous play. If they just let it go, it was blocked well. Unfortunately, they tried to work the reverse and gave up a turnover, but you know, come out, simplify things, and just try to move the ball down the field a little bit. And if you get a chance, you know, don't give up on the run. You got to keep working on these run fits.
So it's Rigler from his 25-yard line. He will lateral it over, and a little bit of room here. And it's Zamir Clayton across the 30 and maybe a little bit more. So we've seen the Broncos try to get Zamir Clayton going a little bit. That's who I have as 88 on our roster here, listed as a D lineman. So there might be a typo on my roster here, but we're seeing a little bit more out of 88 here today.
But you can see the 2 receivers at the top of that screen. They're both blocking the same corner, and that's exactly what you want for the start of that play. And then he breaks off at the last second to go get the next defender. That's great design on that play and a great job by the receivers. Force that corner to be the first guy to not make the play. As the play goes up, the inside receiver gets off, and we've got another conversation with the game commissioner after he went over and chatted with the West Shore head coach there.
I apologize, by the way. That's Lloyd Hagan. I got to know that. 88 on the Broncos side. Hagan, of course, the South Cam 3-year start. He's wearing number 88. Didn't have that number on our roster here today, but we found him here. So shout out to Lloyd Hagan and the family here. I know they're from Kamloops, and nice little play here to get 7 yards.
So it looks like we're going to be playing on. Guessing the West Shore head coach basically said we didn't travel 10, 12 hours to not play the game, but running time is probably the negotiated piece there.
All right, so here we go. 2nd and about 2, and that is going nowhere. Not sure if that was an option play, but they handed it off to MK Ellis. More like, you just take it. You go ahead and take it. We got a flag here late, too. What do we have on the flag here? The Broncos only took 1 penalty in the first half. Is this going to be against West Shore?
Yeah, I'm not 100%
a little over-aggressive.
sure.
You know, I think the play was over and the tackle was finished quite strong.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, it's a designed halfback draw, and there's not a lot of action on it. And if you don't get a single gap blocked, you're not going to be able to run it. Frustrations have been boiling over for the Broncos a little bit, which, you know, it's tough. You're down 51-0. I totally understand. You know, I've been a part of blowouts on either end, and when you're getting blown out, it's pretty easy to let your temper flare a little bit. But you also don't want to be doing this to your own team. You're backed all the way up. Your punter's basically on his own goal line. You got to let cooler heads prevail a little bit at some point.
So Ethan Sager's standing at his own 1-yard line. He got a bit of a wind here. He can let it go if he gets a good snap, and he gets it away. It'll be caught on the fly at the 50-yard line. A little bit of room here, trying to operate, kicking it outside to the far sideline. Still on his feet, now out of bounds before a tackle comes in around the 28-yard line. And a great, we've been saying this a lot, it's great field position here for West Shore.
Yeah, tough decision. I know the snap's not quite going into the end zone. Might not have been the worst idea to just concede the safety and force them to go the field again. Great job by the punter there to get that ball off. He had pressure in his face. He kicked it away from him. End-over-end punt, tricky for them to catch, but West Shore returned it, does a good job getting up to the sideline and getting some yardage back on that. they'll start on their own on the Broncos 29.
That was Isaiah Boughton on the return. Pretty good return for Boughton, and that sets up 1st and 10. As James said, from the 29-yard line. Chancellor will hand it off. Up the middle and lots of room here. Carson Graham gets down near the 15-yard line. Good run on 1st down. We've seen plenty talented backs from West Shore here tonight.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line just blowing open that hole. Just a little double team on the defensive tackle. I mean, you almost could have had an aircraft land in that hole. So good job for the Broncos just to limit that gain to about 14 yards. But easy 1st down for West Shore. If you're able to run the ball like that for the rest of the half, you're going to get out of this one pretty quick.
Jaden Smith on the tackle out of Estevan, former defensive MVP. And 1st down. Chancellor, hands off. Graham again, this time not the airstrip of space available, and it will be a gain of about 2.
Yeah, much better job of condensing the gap, letting the linebacker fill. Good job by the defensive line there. Just fighting through that double team was number 90 for the Broncos, Cowison. Great job there to just blow that play up and limit the gain to 2.
Okay, so Coswan out of Vernon with the tackle. And the lights come on here at Hillside Stadium. 2nd and about 8. Time to pass into the end zone and intercepted. This will be picked off and taking it out, but not getting outside the end zone. That's a big defensive stop for the Broncos. And on the interception here, it is Jaron Yamoka, the local product. That's a big pick for the Broncos.
I don't know if it gets any easier for a defensive back. He was all alone. You could see the receiver was cutting into the corner, and Cancellaire, I'm not exactly sure what he was doing, trying to put it out there. He probably just didn't see the defender. Great job by Yamoka. The only thing that I would like to say, he could have just taken a knee, avoided a little contact. You know, there's not a lot of room out there to run, but other than that, it doesn't get any better. It's like watching a center fielder in baseball catch a can of corn.
Jaron Yamoka, who says his favorite movie is Baby Driver, was able to start the Broncos on a drive of their own here at their own 20-yard line, and had a reception for about 6 for Hagen. See where they spot it, but the Broncos here trying to move the ball on offense.
Nice quick pass, getting it over the middle, not putting the ball in harm's way, not putting your quarterback in harm's way. Pick up about 8 yards on 1st down. I don't know if you can ask for much more. The question is, are you going to try to run the ball from there, or are you going to keep working a quick pass out here?
So give him about 8 on the play, and we have an injured West Shore player down on one knee. That's Max Teradash, a defensive back, being looked at.
I'm not sure if he's hurt or if there's a bit of an equipment issue. He ran off the field pretty well. I think just for the timing's sake, the sideline's telling him, hey, take a knee. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's no rush. We get to run our guy out onto the field and have time to set up proper. It's okay. You got to do what's right for the team in that moment.
Goes into the West Shore tent on their side of the field. Not a medical tent, I don't believe, but here we go. Back to pass. Flags fly, and that pass dropped. And that was dropped on the play. It might have been tough for 1st down yards. It would have been offside Broncos anyways. Lloyd Hagen with the drop.
Yeah, a little infuriating if you're the quarterback. You know, you put that ball away from him, which is the smart play. The defender's coming from the inside, just kind of puts it on that back hip, but unable to come up with it. And they're going to, I don't know. I think if the Broncos are keeping the offense on the field, it looks like West Shore is going to challenge them to pick up 2 yards here.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, punting is off the table. Got to make this 1st down to keep this close, right? Gotta get this 1st down here to keep the drive alive.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. This is your opportunity to go play action and take a deep shot. Everyone is uptight. This is your chance.
All right, let's see. Is there time for a deep shot? Good snap. They're going to throw it, and it's caught, and that's executed. 1st down near the 40-yard line. And the Broncos alive on offense. And that's a nice play just to move the sticks.
You know what's better than taking a deep shot? Picking up a 1st down.
That's right.
That
That's
was
right.
In the quarterback's hands, out right away, found the hole in the zone. Perfect pitch and catch. Nothing more you want out of that.
Cruz King on the catch, too. So, King, we have a 1st down. 40-yard line.
Are you wanting to crown him on that play?
I think we will crown him. You want to crown him? Crown him. But the West Shore Rebels are who we thought they were. Here's a pass over the middle, and is that brought in? Did that skip in? Incomplete. They will say no catch.
I think that hopped a little bit on him, and like great route. You want to just see the quarterback just put a little bit more on it right down the seam. He had some time, just underthrew him. That's a closer play than I thought. Watching it live, I thought it bounced.
Command center might be called upon for a review, but they'll say, of course, incomplete.
Alejandro Kirk might have touched his helmet on that one, but
maybe. Yeah, maybe. You know, you can see like the pellets fly up sometimes on this field. It's a little bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, you would have liked to have seen Riegler just step into it just a little more, but
it's got the wind here in this quarter. Late now. This will be the final play of the third quarter. He'll throw here. Look out, and it's probably the best thing that happened was incomplete, because in on it nearly with the pick was Ethan Douglas, and that'll bring up third down and now a punting situation as we end the third quarter.
That's going to be a pretty tough punting situation. That wind has really picked up
Yep.
there, so you might even be tempted to go for it if you're on offense. Just let the offense get its reps in. I understand special teams is an incredibly important phase of the game, but the Broncos haven't shown that they've got a lot with it on the special teams right now.
Well, the long snap is with the wind. That will help. I mean, it is. The Broncos have actually moved back their punter this week to try and give him a little bit more space. So it's a longer, long snap, probably about 3 yards longer than normal. So
it's tough being the long snapper because you really do want to put a lot on that ball, but if it goes over his head, you're the only person to blame. It really sucks.
It's a great snap, by the way, and the punt into the wind, hits a wall of wind, will bounce near the 45 and take a West Shore bounce into traffic, and this will be all sorts of no yards as it did go off a defender, I think, and just one of those unfortunate bounces back into the pile, and it'll be no yards.
Yeah, into the wind, it's going to be tough. He's got some wicked backspin on there. As long as that's past the pin, it should be he'd have a chance to put it close, but unfortunately in football, that's not quite how it works. But like you were saying,
though, we got a flag back in behind where the punter would have punted that ball. I'm not sure if this will factor in here.
I didn't see what happened. I got infatuated watching the ball up in the air and having it just stop on a dime and start coming backwards.
Holding actually against West Shore and no yards. So they'll go 5 yards up, I believe, and repunt. Let's see. What are we going to do? Got flags all over the field.
Well, I think with the running clock, you won't want to replay any special teams if you're the West Shore coach. You want to get your offense and defense out there and be working on things. So,
now that's what West Shore will do. They'll take the ball just on the Broncos side of the center stripe. Call it the 54-yard line. We're in the fourth quarter. The wind now in West Shore's favor. Their starting quarterback, Anthony. And he'll throw it out. Caught. A little bit of room here to play. A little bit of room to run. Across the 50 and then angled out of bounds. Escorted out, we'll call it. And that was caught by Ephraim Fisher. And it'll be about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, good job by the Broncos. They corralled him pretty well once he got a little bit downfield. And the first defender that had hands on him stayed on him. And then the gang gets there and helps drive him out of bounds. There's 3 Broncos there. That's what you want to see. Defensive coordinators love it when you see 3 to 5 guys chasing the ball downfield. Just methodical on offense for West Shore right now.
Logan Vanuden in on that tackle. He's able to make that play. And now they will pitch it off. It's hammered in, their number 1 back. A flag flies in behind the play and no gain. And that's a great defensive play for the Broncos. But the flag coming in from the backfield here. What do we got?
Yeah, probably going to be a hold there.
Well, I think, I believe it looked like Darren Bajalin was just basically tackled defensively.
You know, when you're blocking, anytime an official sees those hands on the outside of the shoulders, it's going to be a pretty easy call. You got to keep those hands more in the chest. And it actually works out easier if you're the blocker. It allows you to kind of work your hips around them when the hands are inside. When they're outside, you're going to get called every single time. Looks like the Broncos are going to decline the penalty and
force a punt here, You
probably want to tell the Broncos punt returner to back up just a little bit.
Yeah,
with that
just
wind.
a little bit. what's one thing maybe West Shore won't be happy about. Maybe they've had some execution issues, but the penalties in the first half, they took 10 penalties for 135 yards, and they've just added to that total here in the second half.
Yeah, if you're the coach, it's, hey, we're going to probably go up there and beat up on these guys, but you want to have your discipline in order when you do it. You want to give them no excuses.
Good punt. It'll hop out of bounds. I don't think it landed inbounds. I thought it just sailed out near the 20-yard line is where they'll call it. So the Broncos back on offense here, and we'll see if they can move the ball. We mentioned, yes, they're into a pretty stiff breeze now.
The Kamloops Broncos defense just got a 2-and-out.
Yes.
Well done on their part. Like, again, on that toss play, that's that toss play they've run in the end zone against them a bunch, and it's crushed them all game. But you saw the Bronco defender come flying up there, force the ball outside. They did a great job on that play to limit it to no gain, cause the holding penalty. A 2-and-out is nothing to scoff at for the Broncos defense.
All right, so we'll see if the Broncos can get some points on the board. The clock is running straight time, and that is basically due to the smoky conditions, which at kickoff, excellent conditions given the last 3 days here, but we're right back into that soup once again here in Kamloops. Here's a throw, and looking for the local receiver again, Hudson Jones. He just could not corral that. 2nd and 10.
They've gone to that well a few times. You'd like to see them work off of that play, so they've got the receivers that are running in, and he's always hitting the trailing receiver. Now the defense is starting to adjust. So now you want to see them open it up to one of the other receivers that are leading that play as the defenders go, hey, we see the trailer. We know that we're going for the trailer. That's your opportunity to break it open on that.
All right, so here we go. 2nd and 10. And let's see if the Broncos can find lightning in a bottle here. They've converted on a couple of these 2nd and longs. Looks like pressure's coming. Now West Shore backs out of the pressure and intended near sidelines, but that will be broken up, and it will be 3rd down. As we got a new quarterback. We should mention that J.R. Howdle is into the game on this series, and Howdle delivered that ball, but well covered on the play was Ethan Sagers.
Yeah, he put that ball on the money, but the corner is just all over him. And when I say that, I'm saying he was there cleanly. He's just all over his back. He's not trying to get around him. He's just right there. Even if the receiver makes that grab, that corner's making that tackle. That was a great play by the West Shore corner.
All right, so it brings up a punting scenario, and Sagers, who was just the intended target, will now handle the punt into the wind. He'll get it away. Good punt considering the breeze, but it's handled, then bobbled, and now picked up near the far sideline. Stepping out of bounds is Antoine Barrett, and West Shore goes back on offense here with just under 9 to play.
Good punt, good coverage. Again, we're going to pile up those little victories. If you're the Broncos, again, you're a young team. They've been quite disciplined this entire game. They're doing a lot of little things right. It's just about expanding on those and getting a few more victories, trying to get some points with 8.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. It'd be really nice to see them work the ball down the field on offense.
By the way, BC Lions were victorious in CFL action earlier this evening, 27-24 over the Hamilton Ticats. This is the home field of the BC Lions training camp. And a give up the middle, trying to fight for first down yardage is Carson Graham once again. Give him about 7 on the play.
Yeah, and it looks like we got the backup quarterback in for West Shore. We've got Wetch back in there at the pivot, working a few of the backups in now for West Shore. Again, you know, you don't have to take your foot off the gas. You can just put guys in and still go throw the ball all over the field. It's just you want to see everyone that made the trip get some reps, and good coaching there from West Shore right now.
All right, so second appearances in many weeks here for the quarterback, who delivers a strike over the middle, and that'll be complete to the 20-yard line. And we know that this quarterback saw some action last week in that game where it was back and forth, and Wetch nearly led West Shore to that big win over a rival.
Yeah, you want to see this. Like, this is why you got to get all these guys reps. You never know what happens in a football game. Great hands catch from Brady Jenkins there, and you want to develop those connections with the backup quarterback being in there, and you never know if that's going to happen again. You want to keep them ready.
Wetch, 11 of 20 last week for 214 yards, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown. And he'll handle this snap and hand it off. Looking for a little bit of room. Broncos gang tackle, fighting for every inch out there on the field, is Eni Oladuni, and he'll get a couple.
That was a good carry by Oladuni. He does a great job holding on to the ball. He's fighting for yardage, but the Broncos defense, you know, that first guy's holding on and then the other guys are coming. That's exactly what you want to see. Young defense. You want to be seeing all 12 guys going to the ball. That's one of their hallmark defensive practice drills. You know, all 12 guys got to get to the ball. Better job of it there.
So the Broncos here, average age this year, 18 years old. And here's a pass in the middle, and it is brought in. Touchdown. High pointing the ball and putting up 6. The West Shore Rebels add to their lead here late in the fourth quarter. What a grab.
Yeah, it was a great grab. It wasn't his best throw, you know, playing the wind a little bit, throwing it into traffic, but the Bronco defenders unable to come up with it. So it's a big victory for the West Shore Rebels there. Good job by Wetch, just putting it up there, letting the wind carry it just a little bit. He's got a big target going up and getting that ball. So
Logan Christie, we should give him credit for going up to get that ball. He'll put up the 6.
yeah, absolutely. Do you think they've got another fake that they want to show for everyone, or you think they're going to work on the extra
point? Well, the 2-point convert fake, we have not seen the convert fake, so maybe they'll blow their wad. And look at this, they do have one. Unbelievable. Zion Brown's going to go for a look. He's going to throw into the end zone, and it is knocked away. I don't know if you saw that coming or you're reading the mail on the West Shore side.
I think he bobbled the snap a little bit.
Okay,
I
let's get a look at that over here. Our crack.
Yeah.
We got a truck of 6 in the broadcast team here today. We have all angles of this. We have our own very own command center. Let's take a look. Was it a bobbled snap? Oh, we're not going to get a look at the snap just yet, but I think you're onto something because I don't see any reason why to go for a fake 2-point convert at this stage.
Coach's favorite number might be 59. You never know. A little bit. Hey, he almost made that throw. You know, Zion's he can run, he can catch,
maybe, right?
and he can pass. You know, give him the old Booby Miles treatment from Friday Night Lights.
Want to win? Put Zion in, I guess, right? All right. Okay, so after all of that, it is 57-0, and the clock continues to run.
Now, if you're the Broncos, you want to assume this is you don't want to assume, but if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm going to treat this like this is my last offensive drive, and I'm going to throw everything out there, including the kitchen sink. You know, position, be darned, just go down and put some of your best stuff out there.
This ball kicked off this time by the running back again, Jaron Harridan, who is hanging up his running back role here tonight, but still handling the kickoff duties. And far sidelines out of bounds. The Broncos, you mentioned, will go to work. And let's see if they get a little creative. Creativity has not really been their friend today.
It was tough with that first play call at the half. You're in the shadow of your own goalposts. I'm not a big fan of that particular play on that moment. The play design, you can totally understand where they're going with it, get the misdirection going. The shame of it all, again, I keep going back to this, but that play was open if they just let the ball carrier keep it and go around that corner. You hadn't really run that a whole lot this game, and they had success against PG with that play early. So we'll see what they have in store here.
All right, J.R. Howdle, great name for a quarterback, and he will throw, and it's intercepted right into the arms of the defender, and it's a pick for pick on the other side for Ethan Douglas, and boy, wanted to get something going on offense, but that's an interception throw right to Douglas.
That's a tough spot to put that ball. That receiver's probably supposed to cut out a little bit harder on that. He kind of curled in. The receiver or the quarterback threw as though he was going to curl out. Corner was all over that play on the outside, so tough throw there for the Broncos. You're coming in off the bench. You really want to get excited about those throws. You haven't thrown all game. Tough play there for the Broncos backup quarterback right now.
All right, so through it all, here's West Shore right back at it. It's not first and goal. It's the 11-yard line. And you see in the backfield, Eni Oladuni. We'll see if he gets the carry here. Clock running under 3 minutes. They will give it to Oladuni. Oladuni trying to fight forward, crosses the 5, tackled around the 4-yard line.
It's a really good carry. I'd like to see West Shore go back to him. I think he's earned a little bit of another carry up there. You can just see their O-line just moving guys. They're not necessarily driving the Bronco defenders downfield, but they're letting their momentum take them the wrong way, and that's what you want to see out of an offensive lineman. It makes your life that much easier in the CFL anyway. NFL, you want to see them drive downfield.
was Geffen Levi on that last tackle. 2nd and 5, and this is a quarterback keeper, and Wetch got hit, but did he get in? He did. Wetch took contact right at the goal line, but puts up the 6, and the West Shore Rebels, 2 plays later after the interception, put up 6 more.
That was a pretty big hit at the goal line. You'd like to see your quarterback not take those hits. Great job to get into the end zone. You know, not a lot of open receiving options on that play. Running it in was good. Maybe just a little more zhuzh on that dance for him. But, you know, taking big contact on the goal line and finishing the play, that's a great run there by Wetch.
All right, looks like it'll be Bowles again here to try to tack on an extra point as the clock continues to run. Smoky conditions limiting tonight's game. Kick is up, and this one is good. And clock continues to tick here. I think both at this stage here, I think both teams just waiting for that final gun as we tick down under a minute.
I get that. If you're the Broncos, you're going to try to get a couple more plays off here. But, yeah, with 45 seconds to go in the game, you know, you should probably just start with the ball. No reason to work with the kick return. Just get your offense out, try to get a couple of plays, and, you know, try to go deep on a couple if you can. But, yeah, you might be right. Clock might be running out here pretty quick.
Let's give credit to West Shore's D. I mean, we knew they were some ball hawks, and they definitely have shown that here. I mean, they have been all over the Broncos receivers, and they've really been 50-50 balls whenever they've been thrown out.
Yeah, they've only had a few miscommunications there on defense. Great job. Their pressure has been phenomenal. They've been blitzing linebackers all day, attacking what is a very inexperienced offensive line for the Broncos. But, you know, the Broncos' protection held up at certain points throughout the game. So not a horrific day for the Broncos, even though the score may suggest otherwise.
All right, so West Shore about to kick this one off, and I'm not even sure I think they will try to attempt to kick this off. They're rolling the clock here once again as the Broncos will be dropping to 0-3, and West Shore gets back into the win column with a victory here to improve to 2-1. And they're going to kick it off just for fun here. So this will be the final play of the game. It's a line drive kick over the head, but now picked up by Clausen near the goal line. Clausen makes one man miss. Wouldn't this be something if Clausen could make something happen? But that'll do it for the game. It takes a hard hit. Gets right back up, though. West Shore, can they get back to a 5th straight Cullen Cup? I think they take a step in the right direction. Measuring, yes, who their opponent is, but let's take nothing away from the opposition today. The Rebels are a solid football club.
Hey, they've done everything right. The receivers were out there blocking phenomenally. Only one real dropped catch that you saw on that deep bomb down the sideline. Quarterback's looking crisp. Running game's looking pretty strong for West Shore. If you're the Broncos, you got lots of teaching tape. Lots of positives that you can take from this game. You're a young team. You got to take those positives. If you're the head coach of the Broncos, you want to do whatever you can to make sure that these guys aren't getting deflated because you want to get as many returners for next year as possible. You got to keep building the program in that way. But all in all, it was a pretty fun football game.
Well, Kamloops will return the favor. They'll go to the island to Nanaimo, though, for next week's action against Vancouver Island, while West Shore gets a second shot at the Valley Huskers. James, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate you riding shotgun with us. I know the game, we'd love to call a close game that comes down to the wire, but appreciate your professionalism here in these ones.
Hey, we'll get it one day, John. It'll be a ton of fun when we do. Always a pleasure to work with you, the consummate pro. Always fun to work with you, sir.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching BCFC TV coverage. Want to thank everybody, our production crew, our producer, and all the staff here. And thank you, the viewer here. BCFC TV, I'm John Keane. Good night from Kamloops.